What's going on, everybody? I want to talk about a major issue that's been going on in the news, and that's the recent line of shootings. Now, I don't. I usually like talking about movies and fun stuff, but I used to be able to identify with people who are a little on edge, and like, you know what? I get you, man. I get you. And with the angst and um, jealousy and hatred of your peers and people around you who you just want to punch in the face and in your mind worse. But these days, the worst keeps happening. And it wasn't like that when I went to school. I was still in school when Columbine happened. And afterwards, I think I had 2 more years. Yeah, I was a junior. So afterwards, I remember having this thing in my mind that they were cool. I know it's terrible. I had it in my mind that they were cool, and I would act like, I dressed in black, and I would just like visualize, you know, mess with me. You know what they did in Conway. You mess with me, you know what happened there. But never in my mind did I think, actually doing. I never bought a gun or anything like that. But I look back at that, and I think it was a scuzzy thing to do. Um, it was a scuzzy thing to do. But I just want to talk about this pipe train that I had in my mind. That I just entertained in my mind. It's kind of funny to envisionate if I had gone a different path. If I threw out all that heavy music and I stopped playing blood, guns, games, and I stopped watching horror movies, and I just became someone else. Like, I became someone who watches Pixar movies and plays Super Mario, and I didn't get jealous at people who looked at girls that I liked. And I just became like this humble, okay with myself person. Um, Sometimes I wish I became that person because people treat you better when you do that kind of stuff. I know it's kind of lame to, um, I always visualize myself like Anakin Skywalker in the third one, where he's brooding and he's like, I'm not gonna go the right way. I'm gonna just be terrible and just wincing and just destructive and kind of death metal my way through life. And just seeing the way that's been going around, it's a lot of people are getting hurt and a lot of people are dying because these, not so much the material that we consume, but this scorched earth personality where just fuck everyone. You make my life hell, so I'm gonna turn that on you scenario. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's not the best way to live because there's people they have their hand and they want to help you out, but because you're just like, I don't care. I don't know, like, it was fun being a brooding bastard. And what if? But that's the main reason why I want to make this video, is because I want to talk about this what if scenario. where we turn off the violence and just kind of reinvent ourselves into accepting that there's people out there that would prefer to be more peaceful and don't have a scorched earth scenario, and look up to good people. And that's another thing. I never really looked up to good people. I always kind of looked up to crazy people and said, yeah. I mean, they you know, um, but it's redundant because a lot of the heroes that we have, that we say, like action heroes and superheroes, we favor them, but ultimately we become the people that they're fighting because we can't be them. So, well, if we can't be super people, we might as well be terrible people and get stopped by good people. I'd rather get stopped by good people than become like a worshiper of these people. So it's like, let's say you turn out the death metal music and you stop playing. I'm not saying these things attribute to, I'm just saying if you get in that mindset of being someone good, then the chances of you becoming good, not saying you could be like the best person in the world, you could be nice, you get a bunch of friends, and then something explodes in your mind because, like, something, that's everything. But the design is flawed. The whole design of us getting mentored and who mentors us. Ultimately, we make these false mentors in crazy people. And it's like, I think back to the movie theater when The Dark Knight happened. The Dark Knight Rises, and I saw the shooter, the killer, and you hear that he was a smart guy, but then he just decided to. Ultimately, I feel like we're in this spot where we have to outdo each other in pity and sorrow and sadness and depression, and to beat out each other. Who's got it worse? Because we had this in our mind that whoever's got it worse is going to get the most likes, is going to get the most sorrow, is going to get the most notice. That design is screwed up. And I played into that system for a long time. And I had enough of it. I had enough of that design. It's not because I'm a little bit is that I'm getting older and I want to move on to a more peaceful place in my mind. Because I see what they got. I see what these peaceful people have. And I want that. I want to be chilled. But unfortunately, some people grow up with kind of broken system where they feel the need to break things that are trying to fix you. And things that try to fix you are the good guys. They're the heroes. But you want to prove to them that you don't need them. And that's where the communication starts to break up, and you push people away, and you burn bridges, and you think about suicide, and you think about hurting others. I don't know where I'm going. Like I had, oh yeah, the games. So let's say you stop playing Mortal Kombat, you stop playing Doom, you stop playing every shooter on the planet, and you just play like Candy Crush and Super Mario and Crash Bandicoot and Sonic, and yeah, those games have violence in them, but we're not talking about exploding body parts. Or you stop listening to Cannibal Corpse and you start listening to I don't want to get too, I don't want to placate to music that's horrible like Justin Timberlake, or you know, stop listening to Cannibal Corpse and you listen to like AC/DC, or um, just regular hard rock. And you go that style, but you see a lot of people listen to AC/DC, and you're like, okay, I like this tune, but I want to go harder. I want to go harder because I want to be different, and that's the difference. That mentality is where it comes from. It's that I want to go deeper into the dark, because the people in the light, they bore me. They're having fun, and you start to think it's their fault because they don't accept you. So you go dark, and the darker you get, the more they hate you. And you're playing like video games, and you're playing Battleborn, or something that's a shooter, Overwatch, and you're playing Overwatch, something a lot of people like to play, but it's not enough. You want something darker, and so you start to breach out from that, and you're playing like a game like Killing Floor, and it's darker, it's a lot gorier, but not as many people are playing it, and you're not going to find as many people playing that game. So there you go, there's some alienation. You're also going to find alienation when you listen to Cannibal Corpse or Slayer. Well, a lot of people like Slayer, but because it's, Walmart's about to buy their shirts. But Cannibal Corpse and 6 Feet Under, Cradle of Filth, and you're like, yeah, this is the good stuff. And they look at you like, the hell is that shit, man? That's too dark. It's too messed up. So there you go again. You're getting alienated because you're not conforming to more knowing stuff. That's what happens when you breach out from the more knowing nucleus of things. More people play people-friendly games. But and they start to fall in this dark place, and you're like, nobody's around me. Nobody's listening to the same music. Nobody's playing the same games. Nobody's playing the same, watching the same messed up movies as me. You know, like, like the TV tells us what's acceptable. Or if you're listening to dark music, dark movies, like a Serbian film or something messed up, then you're going to find yourself stranded. And when you find yourself stranded, you start to lash out. You start to burn bridges, and you start to, you know, you're out there on your own island, and it becomes a war. And you're on your own island, and you got your horror movies with the girls getting chased around with the chainsaw, and you get your video games with people getting shot in the head and raped and torture, and you're like, well, this is my island, and I'm gonna find people to join this island. But that's not the scenario. That's not what the people want, because at the end of the day, as spooky as it sounds, people want to be on the bigger island. People want to be on that island with more people on it, where they could, they're not worried about how dark movies are and how insane movies are. So it's like, when you get to a point, you're out on that island, and you're like, I'm gonna bomb. I'm gonna go unleash. I'm gonna go to war with this island, and it's like, that's where we're at. It's not so bad being on that island, but it's not so bad being on that big island where people in that nucleus get along. You could still be a bad motherfucker who watches crazy shit and listens to crazy metal and hardcore porn, all that shit. But it's not so bad being with normies either. I hate using that word because I don't even know what the fuck that means. I guess it means like people who have conformed to normal society. It's not so bad being with normies. They can piss you off. They cannot understand you because you want to be crazier and all that. Sometimes you gotta it all goes back to that system of pity. It might feel like you're getting socially neutered. They're putting kid gloves on you and putting tape on your mouth, but sometimes it's better that way. Sometimes it's better to let people win. You gotta let people win. No, it's better winning. Sometimes you gotta let other people win. Sometimes losing is winning. Sometimes losing is definitely winning. Because people win all the time. Sometimes it's better to lose because everyone has a right to get some sort of form of satisfaction. And by you losing, then they've already accomplished stuff. And when you accomplish something, when you get to the finish line, I mean, that's kind of defeated in itself. If you're not running anymore, if you're not motivated anymore, they've got to the finish line. You know, that's not the fun part. The fun part is getting punched in the face and smiling. That's the fun part.